What's going on, everybody? It's Namek Nimbus here, and today I am here for the first episode of my original Dragon Ball series called Dragon Ball Ancient Wrath. It takes place in a parallel universe that lives right alongside the original Universe 7 in the age 779, so right before the Universe 6 tournament ends. As we begin our story, Piccolo is outside watering Gohan's garden as baby Pan sits in the cradle on top of the steps leading to his house. Piccolo waters the tulips, the sunflowers, the roses, and fills the bird bath, knowing how much Pan loves to watch the birds every morning. Pan begins to laugh as a butterfly lands on the tip of her nose, forcing Piccolo's once scowling face away and blossoming a new smirk that shows his pride in his adopted granddaughter. As Piccolo looks in her direction, he says, "Well, aren't you on the happy side today? Why don't we call your dad so he can check up on you while he studies?" Piccolo pulls out his phone and clumsily searches for Gohan's name. He scrolls past his many beloved friends, Goku, Krillin, Bulma, and eventually sees Gohan's name. Finally finding the contact, he reaches down to click the call button, but right as his finger reaches the target, he hears a rustling nearby. He stops and looks, and it turns out to be a gopher that repeatedly ruins his gardening affairs. A usually green Piccolo comically turns bright red with anger as he starts to charge up a special beam cannon aimed right at the gopher. In his head, Piccolo thinks, "This nuisance of a creature takes a bite out of my hard work every day, and I am through with it." As he reaches a nearly fully charged special beam cannon, Pan unexpectedly throws a rattle that hits him right in the head, snapping him out of his rage. Piccolo crosses his arms and looks her way, exclaiming, "Well, you do have your father's strength after all. That actually kind of hurt." Pan responds with laughing and kicking. Piccolo turns around and gets back to watering his beloved garden. As the water leaves the can and falls to the nearest flower, we hear another rustle. As Piccolo looks below him, thinking it's his arch nemesis Gopher once again, he quickly learns that this is not the case. A twisted face with two beady dark eyes and a contorted half smile, half frown begins to appear on the sunflower directly below him. Thinking that this is a peculiar situation, but not that weird compared to other things they faced in the Dragon Ball universe, all he asks is, "What is this, some kind of illusion?" Before he can properly react, the mouth of the plant opens, showing a set of mangled teeth. In the blink of an eye, a gaseous substance bursts from the laughing mouth of his flower and quickly envelops Piccolo's face. He begins to turn his head left, right, and then he stumbles backwards, grunting. Before we know it, Piccolo is down for the count, face down in his freshly watered flowers. Pan clearly understands the seriousness of the situation and begins to cry and look for her father. As nearly 10 minutes pass with no sign of anyone showing up to help Pan, we notice that Piccolo fell with his thumb right on Gohan's name in his contact book. Disturbed by the noises that Gohan heard on the other end of the phone, Gohan places the phone in his pocket and takes off, spilling coffee all over his professor and classmates as he stumbles through the line of people to get outside of class. Once he gets through the crowd, he takes off flying as fast as he can to reach home and check on things. As we pan down, we see Gohan's shoe land right next to a knocked out Piccolo. Moving quickly with an angered face, in the blink of an eye, he vanishes and reappears right in front of Piccolo with Pan in his left arm. With his right arm, he grabs Uncle Piccolo and lifts him up, flying as fast as he can with all of this weight on him to Bulma's house. Not knowing in the slightest what is going on, Gohan automatically assumes the worst and begins seeing pictures in his mind of all of the past foes they faced. He sees Frieza, Cell, Boo, and the pictures of a beat-up Piccolo in his mind as he flies. As a chill runs down his spine, he by default begins to display aura pouring out of his body. Having Pan there ultimately calms him down, but even she looks astonished to see her Uncle Piccolo in this state. As Gohan lands at the capsule court, Bulma automatically runs out saying that Vegeta was training, and he stopped and said that he just felt a huge spike in power and he thinks it's Kakarot's boy. Bulma immediately recognizes the seriousness as she sees Gohan's now teary-eyed look as he holds Piccolo. Bulma only says Hurry, let's get inside as fast as we can so we can see what's wrong. As they walk into the house, we see Vegeta standing with crossed arms to the side of the doorway covered in sweatbands. In a smug tone, he says, "What kind of training sessions did you have? You know you should have held back on him, you're a Saiyan." Gohan quickly explains, "No, Mr. Vegeta, this has nothing to do with training. When I arrived home, Piccolo was knocked out on my front lawn while he was trying to water the flowers." Vegeta's once smug look turns into one of sheer fear as he begins to visualize what could have caused this, as Gohan did before. Before we know it, Goku, Krillin, and Tien all land outside of Bulma and Vegeta's house as they nervously walk in together. Goku immediately says, "We sensed a spike in Gohan's power and we knew something was wrong. What happened, son?" Gohan explains it in the same way that he did for Vegeta. Goku, Tien, and Krillin all turn gray in the face. That's it for this episode. I will be continuing this week, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Peace.